No. No.
Okay, no, that's good. Honest answer. Okay, well, so this session, so let's see what can we do. Okay, well, I think we can get started with writing section task 2. So you agree?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Well, so let's see which type
But
of question. Yes. Yes.
can we do speaking because I want to this week
Of,
practice speaking.
of course, why not? So let's get started with speaking section. Okay, so one moment and let's find a good topic to speak and after we can get started. Well, okay. Well, okay. So tell me about public transport. Do you normally use public transport?
Public transport. Um, once in a blue moon. I mean,
Ah,
once in a blue moon. I just very rarely.
okay, very good. Of course, that's yeah, you remember. That's so good. You have a good memory. Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Well, so okay, let's get started talking about the topic transport. Okay, so my first question for you. So, what kind of public transport are there where you live?
Very rarely. What does mean, teacher?
Like, so for example, public transport, like, okay, if it's bus, train, subway, tram. So, what types of public transport are there where you live, the place, your location? Taxi, for example, what do normally people use?
Well, normally local people in my hometown use taxi. Yes, just taxi because of the in um, betterment in traffic jam. So it's isn't like it still like don't have doesn't have many transport such as tram or underground train for people to use. So we usually use taxis.
Yeah, of course. So you normally travel by taxi. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Well, so you can use the verb travel here. So it's okay if you want to use the verb travel, it's okay. Well, so, but
Yeah.
I didn't get you
Yeah.
normally you, yes.
Can you write type the question for me because I don't know the question.
Of course. So let me type on the board the first question. Okay, let me, well, phone should give it. Okay, so number one, what kind of public transport are there where you live? Okay, so what kind of public transport?
Uh,
Well, so you can say it can be, for
but
example,
if,
yes.
but I heard what is verily and readily. I don't know.
What is where you live?
No, no.
So
Where you live? But I heard verily.
no, where you live, where you live. Okay, well,
Yeah.
so number two, do you prefer public transport or private?
Mm, maybe. Speaking personally, I prefer to use private transportation because it will definitely more convenient, and also it just isn't cost much as public transportation, and you can also use it whenever you want, not to wait for the public transportation to come to you and take you to somewhere.
Yeah, so first it's you want to say that it's more affordable. So
Yeah.
it's more affordable, so you want to say. And so you can also say, of course, it's convenient and human, actually. It's independent. So, you know, when you use public transport to make a journey on public transport, you are not so independent. Like, you know, you and other people. So you can also say to make a journey on public transport, you are not so independent. Oh, what is this independent? So what is you? Okay, well, so this way you can answer. And of course, it's convenient, is for example, affordable, and of course, so you can be more dependent. So like, you know, when you use actually your independent when you use your own car, but you know, of course, in public transport, you're more dependent. Okay, well, and let me ask you my next question. But before it, let me teach you some verbs that you can use when talking about transport. So you know, of course, you know that. For example, when we can say, I take for boat, for ship, for train. Okay, so I can say I take or I get. Okay, for subway, underground, and also train, you can say catch. So we have some verbs. I take or get for boat, for example, ship, for train, you can use, okay? And I catch, so the subway, underground, train again.
Yeah.
So you can say I catch. And of course, for taxi, you can say I get into. Okay, so I get into, or, but you know that for bus, for example, something like plane, for train, okay, we say get on. For taxi, get into. So get into, it's like, you know, boarding. I'm talking about boarding a vehicle. Okay, so I get into, for example, the car or taxi, but I get on the bus or train or plane. So, okay, this way, get on. So this is about boarding. Well, and as I told you, travel. So you can easily use the word travel. You can travel by taxi, by car, by train. So, okay. Let's keep going with the next question of part one. Okay, how do you travel to school?
Well, mostly my father will give me a try to school every weekend, and yes.
Okay, well, and so how about using bike? So do you, so, okay, is it common to use your bike to avoid the congestion, getting stuck in traffic jam?
Maybe I am very into like doing sport to keep in shape, like to stay in shape. But maybe I prefer to have a run, have a walk instead of have like instead of riding a bike. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So yeah, of course, as we discussed, you're sporty. So into, yeah, you can say, or I'm the one for sport. So why not? So sometimes you can say, I walk, okay? So, for example, I go by bike to avoid the congestion. So here, how to say that, to get stuck in traffic? Of course, you can say to avoid getting stuck in traffic. Of course, it's right. But if you want to use another alternative, so to avoid congestion. So you can also use this word to avoid the congestion. Okay. Well, and tell me, do you think a bicycle is a good means of transport?
Well, for me, bicycle is a very like maybe it's the best transportation because everyone can afford at least a bike. Yes, and it's also like limit the performance that can be give off every day, and also it can help people to improve their health.
So, of course, so as you said, yeah, first of all, so there are different reasons. So you can say, of course, most definitely, most certainly. So if your choice how to begin your answer, first of all, because you don't get stuck in traffic. You don't get stuck or you don't get held up in heavy traffic. So this is the first reason. You said, as you said, cycling also keeps you fit. It's good for health. And of course is environmentally friendly.
Yes.
So this way you can make your answer. Okay, so just, as you can see, I gave you different alternatives because sometimes you need. Now, for example, you want to talk about traffic and it's not good to repeat it again and again. So you have different alternatives that you can use one by one. Okay, the next question of part one, do you think that there should be a separate lane for bicycles?
Could you repeat again, teacher?
Do you think that there should be a separate lane, okay, area for bicycles?
Well, for me, the structure of a bicycle is the same as motorbike, so we can use a bicycle in the lane with motorbikes as well.
So you think it's not essential to have a cycle lane?
Yes.
Yeah, so okay, so it's not essential, but I think it's because, it helps to keep cyclists safe from vehicles. So if you have a cycle lane, of course, it's really good idea because, I don't know, it's like helps. It keeps you safe. Wow. Well, okay. So, but if you want to use, so this one, cycle lane. So you can say if it's essential, if it's not. So you can say, I think cycle lane or cycle lanes, okay, plural, are very good idea or are not very good idea because, you can say that, okay, bike can be considered as, the same as motorbike. So we don't need to have a separate lane for it, for them. But you can also say that, yes, it can be useful because, it helps to keep cyclists, so cyclists safe from vehicles. So this way you can answer. Okay. Well, this is about part
But
one.
teacher,
Yes. Yes.
What is get head up in heavy traffic, teacher?
So what is? As I told you, get a stock. So as I told you, I'm giving you some alternative as get a stock in traffic.
Get stuck in traffic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, get a stock in
And
traffic. Yeah.
Is there anything else? Because I remember one more, but I don't know this.
So you mean, for example, being
It's
delayed?
like
Of course you can say being delayed. So you mean this?
no, it's like have the same meaning with stuck in the traffic. But I remember that there is one more word, but I can I can know it. I can identify this word.
You mean that this phrasal verb had different meaning? So first of all, let me
No,
say,
no, it's like
yeah. What?
it's like is there any word have the same meaning with stuck in the traffic, teacher? Because I remember that's one more word.
So I say it's congested, as I told you, get stuck in traffic jam, get held up. So all them means get stuck. So for example, when you say get held up in traffic, it means you being late or delayed because traffic is moving slowly, very slowly. So you got stuck in traffic. So this way you can use, and the phrasal verb get held up, so to delay someone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm trying to explain. So is it clear now?
But it's like is there any alternative, teacher,
For getting stuck
for
in
stuck into?
traffic.
Yes.
Yeah, for example, I'm not sure. So I need to think about it, but because let me, okay, so congested, I told you, get a stock, I told you. And so held, I told you. So I'm not sure about, so no, I need to think maybe. If something comes to my mind, I will tell you. But for now, I think, I think you have three alternatives that are good. Okay, but I try to think. So if something, uh, let's see what. Okay, so just yeah, it's I don't know. So okay. Well, let me say, when cars are bumper to bumper, you can use this idiom, but it means it's traffic. Cars are really close together and they cannot move. So if you want, you can use this one. So.
Which one, teacher?
So let me write,
Could
of
you
course,
type?
if cars are bumper to bumper means close together and so cannot move. So this way, you can say, the only thing that, I just remember. And again, it's congested, as I told you, it's too many cars and a lot of traffic jam. And well, this and rush hour. So it's something that that normally it's traffic in rush hour. So just this. Wow. And let's keep going. Do you have any questions?
I think it's very clear now, teacher.
Okay, very good. Well, and so let's see. Okay. We're gonna keep going with part 2. Okay, so I want to write your cue card on the board. So your cue card question, describe a method of transport that you enjoy using. should say what kind of transport is, how often you use it, where you travel using it, and explain why you enjoy using it. Well, think about it, make your answer, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah. But a method of transport, what it mean is like the way to avoid traffic jam.
What kind of, why did you say,
Oh,
I'm sorry, so what?
it's like
Could you say?
I don't get the meaning of method of transport.
I can't hear you clearly. Could you say again?
Can you
You,
hear me? Yeah.
okay, so say again. Yeah, now say.
It's like I don't get the meaning of method of transport.
Yeah, method of transport. For example, if you're using bus, if you're using train, public transport or private. If public, which one? If private, how? So just this.
It's like the mean of transport.
Yeah, of course, form. One form of transport, for example, that I use is bus, is train. Okay, so if you want to paraphrase it, you can say one form, one method of transport that I, for example, look forward is a train, for example, because what is taxi, for example. So the method, the way, okay?
Yes.
Well,
But teacher,
yes,
can I take note the verb?
of course.
Yes. Before I do the task too.
Yeah, of course, of course. So, okay, so while you're
Can you?
taking notes, so let me give you some alternatives so it's not bad to know. So you want to say that when you want to say travel, so the other alternatives, you can say, for example, I tend to, you may need them to make your answer. I tend to move around by, for example, bus, because it's cheap, because convenient. Okay, you can say this. And you want to say that I typically walk everywhere. So it's easy. For example, I normally get around on foot. So I normally get around on food, like I walk, because it's really easy. I live in a small city, so it's not bad. So you can use this. Okay, and rush hour, you know the meaning of this. The rush hour, when there are many cars in the street, too many cars. So
Teacher, I
yeah,
normally get around on foot. It's like it's like
you
I
walk,
go around by on
you
yeah.
walk. You walk means you walk everywhere.
Yeah.
You walk.
Okay. And can you scroll down for me to take
Of
note?
course, of course.
Yes.
you can also use the verb blocked or trapped for traffic jam. It's okay when it's heavy. So you can use, for example, blocked in traffic. So, when it's congested, but, they all the same. So, or for example, when you're trapped in something or bit when something, it means you can't move. You can't move forward. You can't move back. So it's like blocked or trapped. So both of them, if you want. Trapped in a traffic jam.
Yes, I'm finished, teacher.
Okay, if not,
Can you
well,
scroll down for me?
of course. Well, if you're ready.
Teacher, where
Yes.
you travel using it, what is mean, teacher? Where you travel
For
using it?
example, okay, if you use it when you go to school, when, for example, you want to go on vacation, or so what, when you want to travel, or for example, get around the city, I mean this.
Yeah, okay, teacher.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
of course. Let's get started.
Well, yes. I'm gonna talk about a mean of transport that I use every day, every week. Thus, I would say that is my father car, and yes, uh, our family use it every day, every week because it is our private car, and also is also the main method for us to adopt in daily life, and so it is very essential, and it's play a vital part in our family. And I travel by this car, like because I cannot financially depend on myself, so I usually so I now I still mm, ask my father to drive me to to drive me to somewhere on this car, and usually we go to my school and also go to the mall or to the cinema for me to have to hang out with my friends. And
Yeah.
I love this car so much because it's a crucial part of my childhood because I traveled on this car to school for about 6 years, almost 6 years, and it's still very good. And yes, and also the its price um, is very easy to afford at the time that my family buy. So this is the first car of in my family, and yes, we have a lot of memory on this car.
Yeah, okay, with this car. Okay, that's good. But in this car, because this is that for small vehicles we say
In this
in.
car.
Okay, but that was good. So you can say that Yeah, of course, we use it if whether we're gonna get around the city or hanging out with friends, or so even you use it for domestic travel. So let me say something about foreign and domestic travel. So foreign travel, like, traveling abroad, but domestic in your country. Okay, so maybe another province, another state. Okay, so you well, can you hear me? Can you
Uh,
hear me?
I can hear clearly, teacher.
It's okay. So it's okay. Can you hear me now?
It it is interrupted a lot. It's
So
like
it's interrupted a lot. How about now? Is it okay?
yeah, yeah, okay. It's
Hello. Can
clearly
you?
now.
Okay. So I was talking about domestic travel.
The-
Hello.
Yes, okay.
Hello.
Now I can hear,
Okay, it's
teacher.
okay now. It's okay. So I was talking about domestic travel and foreign travel. Okay. Well, so your car is so convenient. You can easily use it. You can travel around the city and you can, for example, hang out with friends. You have a lot of memories. So all them can be mentioned in your answer. Okay. Well, you really
Yes, but
enjoy. Yeah.
what is the mathematic travel? I don't know.
What is what?
Because you just say but I don't know this word. Is magic travel or what? I don't know.
So domestic, I said domestic travel. I wrote down the
Ah,
word. Can you see domestic means inside the country, domestic travel, and foreign travel.
I what it this mean, teacher? What did this word mean?
Okay, domestic means in the country. Okay, foreign means abroad. Okay. So for example, when you travel to another city in your country, that is domestic travel. Okay, get it?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Well, and now let's keep going with part three. Do you have any questions? Just let me say something that is really good to know. If you want to talk about public transport, for example, train, sometimes we need to wait for it. Yeah? That, for example, for train, for bus, we need to wait. Okay. Now, how to say that I wait, I expect, but with pleasure. I don't have any problem. So you can say, for example, I say one form of transport that I look forward to going on. I look forward to going on is, for example, I don't know, train. Okay? It means I expect, but with pleasure. I like, so it's like, I like. So I expect with pleasure. You can use this way. I wait with pleasure. Okay? So it's okay to me. Well, but it's, of course, you use it for public transport, not private. So, of course, you don't wait for your car. For your own car, of course, you don't wait. Okay. Well, and so let's keep going with part 3. If there is no question with part 2, questions? No question?
No.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay, question part 2, part 3, question 1. How do most people travel long distances in your country? How do most people travel long distances in your country? It's not about you, it's about people
Well,
now.
yes. Well, as far as I know, people usually, like, people usually travel by plane, of course, because it is very fast and very comfortable, but it's so unaffordable for some people. But maybe using plane can avoid congestion and yes in the rush hours, and also it can very helpful when you go on a foreign travel. So maybe plane is the best option for long distance travel.
Yeah, okay. So you want to say that, okay, as you know, you would say that plane is the most popular form of transport for long journeys. So, okay, so as you know, or for example, you can say, I would say, so you can say that, okay, plane because it's fast is, for example, safe, so convenient, so people normally would actually use. So travel, air travel is, so here, if you want to say, okay, I don't want to say plane again, so air travel is common. So air travel, so it's okay, you can say. Well, and uh, how to say, for example, long distance. And you can also say, for example, when you need to go to work and then back home. So why not? So how about people who commute? Commute, okay, to the, for example, cities for work. For example, you need to go to another city to work. Okay, so, okay, if there is public transport, you can mention, why not? Okay, for example, train, subway. Okay, so rail network, something like this. Okay, but travel by plane, of course, is the maybe quickest and the easiest way. Okay, well, and my second question, do you think that transport problems are worse in urban or rural areas? Do you think that transport problems are worse in urban or rural areas?
Mm, well, could you repeat one more time?
Of course. So do you think that transport problems, issues are worse in urban or rural areas?
Hmm. Basically, I suppose that urban area, uh, because of the population in urban area is overpopulated, so there are a lot of people in the rush hour. They go to work, they go to school, and they go to a lot of places. But I don't know. But is I mean like in urban area in rush hour it is very crowded, so it is very easy to be congested in traffic. However,
Yeah.
in rural areas, however, in rural areas, maybe people there are very friendly and they always willing you know, to let people go first, and also the population there is also lower than urban. So uh, I believe that congestion is more in urban areas.
Of course, of course. You're right. Actually, I do agree with you. So, as you said, yes, maybe transport issues in cities. Yeah, of course, they're very different in the country to those in the countryside. Why? Because, as you said, the biggest problem in cities is congestion. So there are just, too many vehicles, cars, traffic jam as terrible. So you can say this way. And actually, there is another problem. So normally, for example, you say that some workers, I don't know, roads are being repaired. For example, a part of road, a section of having problems, so they need to repair it. So of course it caused a traffic jam. So how to say this? Okay, we can say that, for example, road works. So this one, they're always same. So especially in big cities, they're always seem to be road work, okay, going on. Like, all the time they're repairing something, road work, they're repairing, and of course, which cause that cause, okay, this word is good, bottlenecks. What is bottleneck? Okay, this word is like, for example, a narrow, actually, passageway, something like, for example, when you're working, of course, it's like, you can't move easily because you have a narrow place area to move. So for example, a traffic bottleneck, actually the area that cars can't move easily because it's too narrow. Okay, so we say a traffic bottleneck,
Yes.
and this actually walking, so you know that this road working cause bottlenecks. So actually we can say it emphasizes a traffic jam. Okay, well, this way you can make your answer. Well, we have actually some other words and phrases, but unfortunately there is no time to talk about them. So I would do something for you. I will send you some next session. Okay, so I will send you some idioms or words that you need to make your answers. And after that, so you can think about the question that I will send, then we can talk about them, okay? Okay.
Yes.
Well, do you have any
Thank you,
questions
teacher.
related to the sport?
I
Do you
think
have
it's
any questions?
very clear now.
Okay, that's perfect.
It's very
Okay.
clear now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you for being in class. Despite you were tired, I know, after class, yeah, after school.
Yeah.
Thank you so much and have a great week. Thank you. Goodbye.
Good. Teacher. Have a
Goodbye.
nice day.
Thank you. Goodbye.